everybody. Welcome our special guest, Chris Spencer, winner, the champ.
Welcome.
And the people's champ.
Hey.
He was playing Fortnite Mobile.
I'm just trying to see if you're even listening.
Yeah.
I definitely heard that, and my brain was like, the Easy Bake Oven, it was like, tick, 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 bing! And I was like, hey.
I am ready. So I'm on baby watch. If I bounce, it's because baby.
Inexcusable execution.
All I'm going to say on this is
Let her cry.
Armando likes to watch me play while I'm watching my kid.
Right.
So you have to stay in with your kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
To show the single players what they're missing out on.
The best though is when Nick's kid just like starts picking shit up and throwing it in the background while he's playing Dragon Ball.
I played Nick Sunday with one hand while I restrained her from like reaching cards. Even when I shuffled, I just had to like mix up cards like on my little play mat.
Oh man.
It was a disaster.
Armando's seen how aggressive my kid gets when he wants to touch something on the table. He's just like
that hand comes through.
Yeah.
Like I've never
this
seen
is neglect, motherfucker.
Cell Surge sucks.
I've never seen a child's face twist in rage before.
Oh man.
Oh wow, you haven't?
Oh man.
Just wait, Armando, until you pop one out.
He's a friendly little shit, but man, when he gets angry, dude's got some rage. He's got some passion.
Yeah.
Plant a potato, you get a potato.
Little babies like.
It makes me happy though, because I know he's not gonna get bullied. He's gonna give people shit.
You saw how hard that little tiny.
Actually, kind of like evil in a sense. Like he actually goes straight for the face. Like I have this like permanent like little tiny scar right here because he'd like swipe me.
I had a cousin
It's
grab on to both my ears, and with all three of their little teeth, just bit my nose. I was like in high school, bro. I picked this baby by the waist, and like my entire body was like, "Yeet this fucking kid," and my brain was just like, "Chris,
Like,
you can't just annihilate the future generation like this." And it was like this straight second of this kid biting my nose, and me just, I just slowly put the kid back down. It was mad instinct versus like brain power. It was wild.
Please tell me this is one of the tidbits where you started recording, Lucas.
I've been recording the whole time. I was just waiting for him to finish. For me to say, yeah, that wouldn't have been. There would have been 2 dials there. It would have just been out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I do have to leave at 11, so
you're playing
I have
Hatch?
only 19 minutes.
Oh, that's all we need, man.
All right.
We'll play through. We'll just make
He's
sure.
always quick.
Yeah, we'll make sure you go first, Jay.
Perfect.
Well, everyone, welcome to another Team Berserk talk here. We got number 12, and we got another special guest here. We got Chris Spencer. Everyone, give him a nice warm welcome to Team Berserk here. To a Team Berserk talk. For any of you that don't know, Chris here got first place at day 1 on the GenCon event, the in-person event. So that was a special thing for everyone. This is the first really big in-person event that has been for the DBS community since this whole lockdown stuff has started. But we're going to be talking about how the meta has shaped up after this GenCon event and how Armando's tier list was completely right and you can't question it. Armando, please take that away with that intro.
100% accurate. I just want to say I perfectly predicted the meta.
You predicted. You predicted the entire meta.
I was like Gohan Icarus, 7 of the top 8 slots.
I thought you were about to be more specific. I thought you were about to straight up call Soul Striker, Blueberry, Punch, Raspberry with a couple scoops of Icarus, banana split.
I will say
Gohan U7 cherry on top.
I think I did nail the most played, like most of the most played decks. I think I nailed, but in any event, I was wrong. I was catastrophic. I still think SS4 Vegeta sucks. Don't throw the.
That deck got folded by a single negate. Keep talking.
Don't throw that sublet topped with it twice, because sublet can top with a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Like, it literally doesn't matter. That man's unbelievable at the game.
And the fact that his opponent was bad enough to play into it.
Yeah. Yep. I also heard he top deck 17, which I've gone on record as saying the only way you can win in that matchup against Cell Surge. But anyways, he did great. Very proud of him. I think he's an excellent pilot. The SS4 sucks thing is kind of jokes, but moving forward, So we're going to start our discussion with the GenCon results. Then we're going to move kind of into the controversy around the drawing issues that we're having in the game, and then we're going to move into the further controversy around NAS. So it's going to be a really hot topic episode, so I'm glad we have Chris Spencer. I'm glad we can get an unbridled Chris Spencer, the not held back, the getting some curses out here, and the babies being yeeted and all that.
Yeah, we already got the beginning there. We're already spicing up.
Unbridled rage.
Exactly. SS Super Saiyan Spencer here, you're letting the anger take over. Anyways, so there's a couple different breakdowns. There's already been a number of different breakdowns of the meta from GenCon. My recommendation is Crossworld TCG. They did a great video you can watch. In any event, day one of GenCon, we have one red U7 Gohan in first. We have a blue-yellow Icarus in second. That's the Kid Gohan Icarus deck. A Soul Striker in third. Fourth being Hachiyak. Fifth being Super Saiyan Vegeta, the blue deck. Sixth, Fuse Zamasu. That was Andrew Duvall.
Now we're talking.
Seventh was Invoker. And eighth was Sin Shenron. So day two, we have Icarus in first and second. Cell Surge in third, which I'm very shocked there weren't more Cell Surge, and there wasn't a Cell Surge in day one. Gogeta Zeno in fourth. That's my homie. I love Gogeta Zeno. Fifth, Sin Shenron. Sixth, Blue Yellow Icarus. Seventh, Vajax. Eighth, Blue Yellow Icarus. So the most shocking was that there was like 5 or 6 Kid Gohan Blue Yellow tops, and Blue Yellow hasn't been a thing probably since set 7, since Assault of the Saiyans. Like Blue Yellow hasn't really been popular other than splashing Drives into blue. But with the new meta we're in, it looks like Icarus is the choice because obviously it basically draws 2 cards a turn.
Of greed.
It can self-awaken, and it's a draw 2. The deck draws a ton of cards, and if it boards Bojack and Bojack is uncontested, it's playing with 2 additional energy defensively. Which, and I mean, we can get to my thoughts on Bojack later. I do think that's a card that probably should be banned, only because it's so necessary for blue-yellow strategies, and it specifically hinders blue decks and yellow decks. There's really no point to play the colors mono anymore. You're always going to play them blue-yellow in my mind, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I just think Bojack as the card is a little overtuned. And either it shouldn't have barrier or it shouldn't draw a card off the Aegis. But
barrier. Get rid of the barrier. I don't even... The draw card off the Aegis is wild. The fact that thing parks its 20k ass on the board and then just goes...
Also... pet peeve, don't say Aegis. If you say Gis, it grinds my gears to no end.
Aegis?
Aegis. Yeah.
Okay.
Aegis.
Aegis or Aegis? Because I go with Aegis, not Aegis.
So, in all things, I follow Mobile Suit Gundam, and they call it Aegis. Okay, in Mobile Suit Gundam, it's called Aegis, so that's my point of reference.
All right, 90s dubs don't even know how to pronounce English language. It's Aegis if
Thank
you're
God.
listening, and if you say Aegis, you're dead. You're done, son. You cut off.
Yeah, if we're gonna go 90s dubs, let's might as well call me KO Ken Cards. But
KO Ken.
Yeah, that's not what you're called. It's not your channel. Anyway, so I was really surprised. I was really surprised by the results.
Why did you take the green screen?
I'm gonna be honest, I dummied a lamp. I just fucking broke a lamp doing that stunt. It was worth it. Carl's not here. I gotta act it up just because he's not here. Carl, you hear this, you bastard? I don't know why you're not here, but there we go.
But we missed everything. We missed everything. It was.
You saw it thrown up. You didn't hear it?
No.
Oh, well, I got good mic suppression.
Change the camera.
You got $20?
You got another lamp, bro?
Yeah, you got another lamp for me to fuck up.
Jodat, what were your thoughts on the Gen Con tops? I know you're going to be happy since Shenron was in there because you were telling me that's a real deck and I didn't believe you.
Well, I'm hoping you think it's a real deck now after I beat you with it.
Nah, it was a fluke, man.
Okay.
Absolute flaw.
What are we, 2-1? Our records?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably.
Blue yellow isn't surprising, just because Frank has played a lot in the past couple months, and with the addition of Zamasu, it just makes it a lot more deadlier. Being able to bounce something more or less, and then when you play it, you can rest something and draw a card, so it self-replace. I think it's a deadly combination, and it's good to see more yellow decks topping. That's something that I haven't seen in a while, and I'll include Cell Surge in that.
And when you say Zamasu, you mean Zamasu the Eliminator. That's the 2-drop counterplay.
Yes, that's huge value for 2-drop. Like if you go first, you can set up, and if your opponent has to play a 2-drop Unison to awaken, it's not there anymore. They
Now,
can't awaken.
Chris, I'm seeing that card sit around $50 US. Do you think that's overpriced or underpriced?
We gotta break it down. What's the color? I just want everybody to go into it.
Blue yellow.
The color of the card. The color of the card. The blue yellow. All right. It's $50 for Zamasu.
You need 4.
To be honest, I'm gonna be real. Like, I played Yu-Gi-Oh from when I was 15 to when I was about 21, 22. A card that stops your opponent from playing the game as a 4 of $50. Like, don't hate on me, guys. Don't hate on me. I think if $50 may be cheap, or maybe like kind of like a. I feel it's personally cheap because I'm used to cards in Yu-Gi-Oh being like 80, 100. Like you guys think the pre-release juice is like disgusting in this game? Nah, that's like the Yu-Gi-Oh everyday juice. So $50 for a card that you are going to ride to top cuts at your locals, at your store championships. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty cheap. The card is phenomenal. It is overtuned. It's the issue with Zamasu to me is there's not a single part about the card that's bad. It is a counterplay.
Check land.
It's a check. Like, I'm getting to that. It's a counterplay. Like, you go first, and it cannibalizes Unison Warrior format. Think of how many decks need a 2-drop Unison to play, and if you go first against blue yellow, you can't even operate. Like, you have to take your alt routes to get to where you need to go. On top of that, it gets around deflect, because even if you can't counter something, you can sure as hell tap it. That they need to stop doing that. That effect needed to be part of the counter effect so that like it could not hit deflect. It is a check land, so you can't even draw it dead. It replaces itself in hand, so there's no you know how annoying it is when you crown somebody and they go, hell no, you can't peek in my fucking hand. They just tap 2, play Zamasu, and draw a card, and you just stare at Bojack Aegis like, so that's how it is, huh? So this is what's happening here.
Then they rest your Divine Presence Goku, and you're like...
It sucks so bad. Like, Zamasu has every single effect on it being relevant. Like, it being a 1-cost 5K comp, that's irrelevant, because the card does so much on each line of text. So $50 is to me fairly cheap for a card. There are cards that don't do half as much as Zamasu does that have price tags that look like Zamasu, and it's not even fair. Like, so I don't think it's that expensive. It's expensive for this game, not expensive in general, because that card needs to go. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I won't even lie. I don't know why you would make a card like Zamasu in a format like Unison Warrior. It's just like, hey, we want you to buy our new packs. We want you to play these Unisons. By the way, did you lose the die roll? Shit, I don't know how you're gonna awaken, cause like it couldn't be me. Like, if I'm going second against blue yellow, I side in 3 Kavas to my Gohan deck, and I just have my Testing Me Ops and 3 Kavas, and I'm just like, we will get there, but unfortunately, it will likely not be via Piccolo. Every now and then you can catch them lacking, but you have to have the right tools. Like, you can't even catch them lacking outplaying them. Like, you swing, they might open up more energy with Aegis or Sensu Bean. So, like, the only way I can catch people doing it is by playing essentially 3 for a Unison, because I have to crown them and close up their energy or rip the Zamasu out of hand. Most good players will just close up the energy so I don't get to peek at their shit. And then I play my Unison. But by then, I've wasted 2 cards. Well, I wasted a good, really power play just to land my Unison well. And that Unison very well may die to the arrival of a Warcry, a Leader Swing, and a Bojack. Like, I'm sorry. We will take off far too much of this podcast if I start bitching about Zamasu.
All right.
Do you think that's going to be the first of I don't say many, but the first card, but that's going to open the gate for a counterplay that interacts with a Unison, or do you think it just stops here?
I think it's necessary to have cards that interact with Unisons. Actually, when I first saw the Frieza Unison, when Bandai sent me the spoiler for Gohan, I saw that the Frieza Unison, when it's spirit boosted, it could hit Unisons with the minus 10k. And for me, I was like, oh, this signals to me that Red's going to get a lot of cards that interact with Unisons. And what do we get? We got a difference in status. I'm sorry, but unless we start getting +3 Red Unisons, difference in status is not cutting it, boy. You cannot convince me in a format with War Cries and Kaba's getting double strikes, Piccolo's getting double strikes, like people playing 2 Champa and everything. Yeah, I cannot start burning my Unison markers on difference in status when I'm only going +1 each turn. So I don't think Zamasu is where it should end, but I think all colors should get it, because previously it was essentially green could manipulate markers as well as it could. And red and black were just good at punching the shit out of your Unison. But that still is like normal shit. And then now you have blue, yellow being able to just straight pick your Unison up off the board and be like, put that shit back where it came from, or so help me. And then your blue's just sitting out here just twiddling its thumbs. I don't know. It feels kind of weird. I don't think this is where they need to end it. I just think they need to start making a more flavorful Unison disruption. I think Red should start shifting to having most of its minus effects being able to touch Unisons. That sounds a little weird, but I think Red is at a dangerous spot right now where it just went from premier color in the game to very close to like last place. Like, some people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I think right now, like, red and black are like punching each other in the dick for last place. Like, it's like red has Gogeta Zeno, yes, but outside of Gogeta Zeno, what are you really looking at with? Or sorry, black. What are you looking at with black? And then when you look at red doesn't even have a deck. Red has U7 Divine Presence package, and whatever vehicle carries it best. And it's I think
similar to the Gogeta. Yeah. I'm gonna jump in and just get us back on the GenCon wagon for a second. Not that I don't love where our conversation.
You're good.
So Nick, what surprised or didn't surprise you about the GenCon results? I try and catch people who are sleeping, but I try and catch people who are sleeping. But yeah, you were. You gotta relook. You're sleeping.
All right. I mean, Super Saiyan 4 is so good, it's shocking there weren't more tops of it.
Oh no. Oh no.
We gotta talk about that.
Fight,
2 days.
fight.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see Invoker. I think that was the most surprising thing to see that was able to top. But end of the day, because both tournaments essentially ended early both days, the tournament results, what happened there, just like that's skewed so hard. Like, they should have just done a top 16.
Yeah,
realistically.
I agree. We'll get to that shortly. While we're on the topic of SS4, I know Chris has a story about SS4 he wanted to share. So
yikes! I mean, it's not really a story. Like, shout outs to the guy that I played, because I saw him, I think, round 2. And then I didn't really think much of the deck because of how it went. But then I saw him at top tables at day 2 in a picture. So I'm like, kudos for you. But that deck just gets folded by like simple cards. Like, I know, like, the whole thought behind it is you either have to burn cards in your hand, making your hand weaker, or you have to give them ramp, which makes their plays faster and stronger. But in my case, I just played King Vegeta's Imposing Presence on his leader, and it just was like, oh, okay. And it just kept getting progressively worse. Like, I had 2 in the main and 1 on the side. In our game 2, I resolved all 3 copies. Like, I mulled, and I kept 1, I drew another one, and I eventually drew into another one. And it just got progressively bad. Like, I literally dunked on him on turn 2 when I awake and just went full tilt. And I kept 1 energy open just for that. And he awakened his leader. He swung. I activated it. He was like, okay. So use the Kamehameha. And I was like, I'll just burn a little bit. So, and he was like, well, you can, I'll go for it.
Just interesting interaction here. So he swings. His leader has an auto where if you counter, he restands.
He restands.
He swings.
He's again, it was 0.
You neg him 10. He restands. He's a 5K to your leader. He says, I'm going to go up to 20 with my UI Kamehameha. You say, bet. I'll super combo, draw 2. Right?
Yeah.
And then, so he restands. He's now a
plus 1,
5K.
he goes plus 0.
Yeah.
And then he restood because he was like, I'm restanding because of that. Yeah. And we went through the entire thing. He's like, Kamehameha, I comboed out of it. And then he goes, okay. And he swings again. I'm like,
0.
okay. And he was like, really just like, and he almost committed. And he went, can I read that again? And he read it again. And I was like, yeah, it really is a 0. Like, and he just,
No combos.
yeah, he just passed it. And I was like, all right. And the only thing better than seeing that happen that time was literally getting to his next turn, him swinging again. I was like, you already know the vibes. Like, I just
Hope you got the baby ape right.
But this time it was so much bait because I tested the opt on a previous swing and I was at 3 life. And so I went in, like I was charging a 3, I went like double divine presence, I tried to push, and then he swings his leader, and I'm like, King Vegeta's imposing presence discard 1. Oh, and that was just game 2. That was literally game 2. His leader was a vanilla for 2 games straight. Just turned this leader sideways to draw 1, and I was like, wow, this is top tier right here. This is broken. I will also tell anybody, you can look at previous videos on my channel. I will never fuck with Super Saiyan 4 simply because I went deep in the tank when I first saw it. I was like, this is beautiful, this is amazing. And I stepped into Untap with one of my friends, one of my current roommates, and he played Dark Broly, and it was just turn 1. He was like, Dark Broly, ball, 30k blocker. And I was like,
Game.
Bet.
I stood there for like 30 seconds. I was like, all right, guys, let me just back out. I'm going to get another deck. And that's the last time I touched Super Saiyan 4. Like, it was literally the beginning of set 11. I was like, you know what? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Pass.
Exactly. Lucas, what were your thoughts?
That's a lot of Icarus.
Yeah, I
Damn.
was completely surprised by the amount of Icarus. I get it though.
To be fair, you put it as the best yellow deck, but you still put it tier 2, so automatically hate for that. But I don't know. Out of being all of the yellow decks, I'm glad it's Icarus because at least I can call it Icarus, not Higher Dragon. Fuck that shit. And it's just a cute little leader, but it does some major damage by drawing its whole deck, and by turn 3 you're like, oh, how many cards in hand? 20. Oh, okay. I'll go fuck myself. Yeah, that was the one where I'm like, really, that many? I was expecting a couple more Gogeta Zenos or something like that, but no, that's what threw me off is that there were so many of Icarus. So blue yellow still causing headaches and back pain and Zamasu. Go ahead, Nick.
I did actually find that interesting looking at I think it was Duvall's list for Zamasu, where he's like, I had 3 Kais. He's like, that's all I needed for Gogeta Zeno. I was like, they can't do anything.
Fair enough.
So I was like, fair.
3 Kais. Oh yeah, that's the counterplay. Yeah, if they're playing the Weenie Rush or the PyCon build or anything like that. Matt, were you surprised at the lack of blue Soul Striker and the lack of black decks in the top cut?
A little bit, because I think that the Soul Striker with blue yellow build has been like relatively popular and something that I've been maining for the last, I don't know, month and a half or so. I thought there'd be more love there. I thought maybe the inverse would happen, where it would be Soul Striker blue yellow over like the Gohan and Icarus blue yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms of, like, that's so deadly for the leader to swing and to untap too. Like there's like just so much value there that I thought that's where the direction that would happen to go. Did you say Jex is in there, like 7th or something?
Yeah, there's one of the checks.
That's the one that like surprises me. Like off just reading the list.
Probably just a Gogeta outlet though. Like you just Gogeta and hope you high roll, right?
Right.
Now, what's interesting? So we discussed the results a little bit. one thing we don't get from that result is a feel for what the decks were in the room. And one reason we're really lucky to have Nick with, or we are lucky to have Nick with us today, but we're more
Yes.
lucky to have Chris with us today. Chris, can you tell us a little bit about what the decks were in the room? I was thinking about your match against Nick Green, and that was where I was getting to. I was going to end it on how many red Vegetas, but if you want to just tell us the kind, like, what decks did you see? What did you play against?
So I'll let you guys know right now. It is actually a big thing of mine, and it's an old Yu-Gi-Oh habit. I don't commit to my sideboard. I don't know. I'm coughing now. I'm so sorry. I bring a bunch of sideboard cards and I walk the room before I finish my deck list. So generally, I end up kind of seeing a lot of the room. There was a whole lot of Cell Surge. A lot of top tier players were playing Cell Surge. Like I saw Jordan, I saw Joey Palladino. A lot of players are playing Soul Surge or Cell Surge, but I think the deck has a certain amount of skill cap, and so not everybody that plays Cell Surge is going to do well with Cell Surge. Hell, Jordan is a monster, and he still did not do well day 1 with Cell Surge, but he did well day 2 with Cell Surge. So that kind of is wild. There was a whole lot of blue. There is a massive amount of blue. One sec, I gotta mute my mic for 2 seconds.
He's gonna have
dead.
a coughing fit.
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna have to call the police or whatever. Wherever. God,
The
he's
containment
in Virginia,
center.
I think. He's in Virginia.
That was
Come on,
too
the
much
horn.
vodka.
Yeah.
Lucas just tossing this like old.
Yeah, what do you mean too much? Wait, too much what? Too much, huh?
Too much
Y'all don't know.
vodka.
You didn't know
It's like,
nothing.
ah.
You know nothing. This is more tea, baby. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I call it at work too.
so.
Good for the soul.
But no, there was a whole bunch of blue. It's kind of odd. I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, there was actually blue like everywhere. It was kind of hard to see the fringe decks. There weren't too many when I was going around, but a lot. I just saw so much Soul Striker. Saw a fair amount of Cell Surge. And I actually saw more than one hatch player, but I only saw one hatch player at like anywhere near the top tables. I'm sure a couple people played Starter Vegeta, but I really didn't see them around. I kind of get like tunnel vision after the first couple of rounds, and I just be like in my own zone. I play my games, I talk to my friends after them, and then I just like put in my headphones and walk around in circles until the next round starts. So yeah, at the beginning, it really was predominantly blue with a fair amount of Surge put in there.
So why do you think there weren't more Surge Cell and more Soul Striker topping?
Because, all right, I'm gonna put it out here, and I know I'm gonna tick off people that I play with often, but basically, I think while blue is at a very, very, very strong point in this format, blue has a huge target on its back, and when you have a huge target on your back, you can't also simultaneously be one of the easiest decks to kind of like counterplay. Like blue has always been in a weird, really tedious space with Dragon Ball Super. They have energy on tap, they have ramp. Because they can manipulate energy and because they can ramp, Bandai is always kind of weird on the level of power they give blue boss cards. Blue boss cards, like any blue 5-drop is almost always arguably worse than a 5-drop in any other color, just because they know that you will generally get there faster and be able to defend yourself after playing it. So blue generally has some weird strategies, and then on top of that, people have complained about blue since the dawn of time, and so blue has like the most like anti-blue hate. Like no other color has hate like blue does.
That's the amount of silver bullets is cartoonish.
Yeah, so when blue becomes
Don't
like
worry
the
about
top
pissing
dog-
anybody off because our viewership's comically low.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, all I'm saying is when you make blue the biggest target in the room, you also make the biggest target in the room the most like domable target in the room. And so I think there was a lot of blue representation, but if you were smart going into this tournament, you weren't going into this tournament with a deck that folded to blue. You just weren't. Cell Surge will pick apart blue's hand before like blue gets a chance to even stabilize. And then, blue is not meant to sit there with 3 cards in hand and do anything. Like that's at the opposite of what their stuff is. And then like my deck, it's a 2-card combo. It's just like, how do you beat blue with Gohan? I'm just like, this card. And they're like, how do you not die to blue? And I'm just like, this card. And then that's literally it. Like that is actually it. Play this card, draw cards, swing a lot. Their turn. Swing with leader. No. Discard card. Look at their 20Ks. Feel safe. And then you just go to the next turn and you rinse, lather, repeat. I mean 3 violent rays. Like that's just kind of how it went. So I feel like anybody that went into the room with a solid blue matchup just had a positive record. It just depends on how positive your record goes after your blue matchups. I had 3 blue matchups. That was 3 wins.
Now,
Were you ever worried about like an ape for like violent rays?
An ape happened to me like twice, I think. And I felt stupid both times. Like I was like, aha, counter, and they were like, baby ape, and I was like, wow, why didn't I see that coming? And then they had to turn the baby ape sideways, and then I was just like, well, I've only got like 18 cards in hand. I guess I'll just have to take the combo phase. It's not like I love doing that. And then, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to commit to? Gotcha. That's pretty much how that went. Like, I definitely felt stupid because I'm not gonna front. Like, if you draw baby ape on me at GenCon, you definitely like just did it, and I should have played way more around it. But you also could only put baby ape up to 55k, and that's almost laughable unless my hand is at like half mass. So yeah,
fair.
Makes sense.
Now, so Cell Surge, I would argue, is the natural predator of blue decks. So why do you think Cell Surge didn't? Do you think that's just, again, like people's sideboard was just like 4 Dabura, 4 blue silver bullets, and the rest didn't matter, or what?
I think it's 100% the level of skill and some of your matchups. If you face blue hero, you have to play, blue, yellow Icarus. You got to play like very, very fine line of managing their hand, but also not falling to their pressure, because you only really have like a turn window before Icarus starts taking off at a rate where you will not be able to bottom out their hand. And then once they get that settled, like, it's not like other decks where you can get handed out and then you never come back and whatnot, and then they just proceed to pick away at you. No, like, Icarus kind of thrives on its combo step. And like I said, you have a 2-turn window to bottom out their hand and try to finish the job before you will never run them dry again. And at that point, you can't do damage because Cell Surge isn't over here like dealing massive amounts of damage. It's taking you down to no cards in hand and then doing the necessary damage to finish you off. You go down to 0 cards, they give you a card, they take it. They give you 2 cards, they take it. And, once you just have too many cards in hand, that's not a thing. So I think that running up against that matchup could be hazardous. Even some blue matchups, if blue can see enough draw apes and the correct cards, like if they're running copies of Goku Black, Unforeseen Darkness, they have the apes, they can draw 3 cards per turn, which becomes a little bit annoying for Cell Surge. If they do it early enough, the first turns 3 and 4, or 2, 3, and 4, they can amass a hand that Cell Surge has a problem kind of dealing with. So that becomes an issue on its own. I think that Cell Surge takes a lot more skill than people realize.
Nick, jump in. This is your baby.
No, mine's not even saying anything. It's a question. How many of them do you know were running the new Kibito Kai SCR?
I don't think. I feel like Jordan is just strictly more Kai guy if he runs a secret rare. I would hope nobody's running Cell Xeno because you don't really generate a board like that.
It's not even that. You don't even want to get to turn 5. You want to end that on turn 4.
X. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I never saw an SCR from Joey, but the amount of times that like you tap out in that deck and you're just literally relying on the fact that your opponent has no cards in hand to do damage to you is kind of wild. Or the fact that they can't do damage to you outside of a leader swing because you can't play anything untapped. I didn't get to see an SCR, so I would not
Yeah.
know.
That's the first thing I notice is without an SCR, because typically you don't want to run an SCR in Cell Surge. There's really no point. By the time the abuse, you're past that. Like then you're just paying energy for something that's not worth it. But I noticed, especially in blue, and this was because I think both Armando and I thought Kabito Kai was like ass. I got a lot of screenshots of me saying this is the new worst green SCR in the game. It's so many people make me eat shit.
It's so telegraphed.
Oh yeah.
But in Cell Surge, it isn't. And the reason being is, especially against blue, you won't want to awaken until your kill turn. So they can swing into your leader. You just Surge Awaken defensively, and this is the only time that was ever worth it. For a 2 energy play, when you untap 2, you still Unison. So even if they God Sealing, you don't really care. It was still a plus, because you still stop them from swinging at you. And then you can always just open the next turn with it. And now you have a blocker Unison that draws every turn. Cell Surge that can draw is busted.
Yeah? Yeah, because it is kind of weird. Like once you do awaken, it is kind of like that point where like your card flow stops. But I did find it kind of wild. Like going into the match with Joey, I didn't really know what to expect, and our game 1 was super fire. Like I can tell you in a really quick, not extended thing. Our game 1, we started off and I mulled and drew 2 super combos. On turn 2, he Ribriands me, and I already know this deck is not going to swing. I don't have a Unison in hand. And I sided my Kabas at that point. Now I've switched into the main. So I said, yo, like, fuck if I'm going to use these super combos you haven't seen. So he Ribrianded me, and I dropped 2 Reddits immediately. I was like, you ain't, get out of here. And I end up, like, just going in. Like, I end up finding my Unison. I end up going for the Awakening. I had Gohan, his ability to cantrip is, like, really ridiculous. And Joey was able to keep my Gohan 1-drop off the board, but on the last turn, it was bad. I only had like 2 cards in hand, 2 or 3 cards, and a draw turned into another draw, turned into a super combo, which turned into like a Champa and a Kai being in my hand, in which case I just played the Kai, and then he took the damage, and I swung with the Kai and Champa'd him for 50k, and like, even though he had like, I don't know, like 7 cards in hand. He was tapped out. He might have had some Cells Kamehamehas in hand. He had used a super combo before and something like that. But the Kai and the Champa got there, and it was just like hella unfortunate because it was just a stream of 5 cards off the top of my deck. But that's like what Gohan does. So I felt bad that it was the Kai that ended the string. But I also was like, okay, like this is what my deck does. Like I've been speeding through the deck. Game 2 hurt my soul because I started off by I opened up 3 Deborah from my mill, or from my mulligan. Like I didn't have any in hand. He cut my deck. I drew 3 Deborah. He goes, energy, tap, black mass sand. I said, oh no. And I never found Yamcha, and I never found my surprise attack Gohan. So that black mass sand stuck to the board the entire game. And then oh, sorry.
This is an interaction I wanted to talk about because I think the fact that Deborah doesn't do anything against Cell is like the worst community movement that we've ever had. Like, I've played a lot of Cell, and I'll tell you, yeah, Deborah doesn't matter, but Deborah matters. Like, you play Deborah against Cell, it sucks. When I watch you draw 2 cards, I'm like, damn. So the interaction I wanted to talk about specifically, only because a lot of people see the Black Mass Saiyan and they think, damn, my Deborahs are dead. That's not true. If Deborah is the last card you discard out of your hand, you tap 1 to play it. Okay? Deborah has an auto that when it's played, it draws 2 cards. Your opponent's Cell, they're going to be the one destroying your hand on their turn. So, you discard Deborah, you tap 1, you play Deborah. Their Black Mass Saiyan auto resolves first because they're the turn player. You discard 2, you don't have any cards to discard. Your Deborah auto resolves. Now you draw 2. You've effectively played around them just by making sure that the Deborah was the last card in your hand you discarded. So in your scenario, for example, if your last 2 cards were double Deborah, you could have pitched them, tapped the 2, drew 4, and been like, next game. But doesn't always work that way. And if you're in a pinch, like for example, let's say you have 5 cards in your hand, 2 of them are essential and the Daburas aren't, you're probably just going to pitch the Daburas because you want your U7s to combo and draw.
That is 100% what happened. And then third game, I went first. I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like I was like, I'm gonna take Joey. I'm at table like 4. It's me and versus like this other like YouTuber who's significantly more successful than I am. I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna do it for the squad, for the clout. And then everything was like there but not there. I didn't open the 1-drop, which it sucks, but you just kind of learn to play with it when you play this deck. But I also opened my 1 freeze instead of any of my 3 or 4 other Piccolos. And like the hand just didn't come together. I was like, oh no, I didn't see like it just sucks. So I didn't get any of my normal like, oh, you're gonna gain advantage cards by the turn. I literally felt like going first. I was like, in my head, I was like, this game is free. I just need to see like an 8 out of 10 setup or higher, and then I just saw like a 6, and I was like, maybe it's not free. I got down to 4 life and used 2 super combos and could not find my fighting against fate. I played 2. Like I was like, I guess that's how it is. So yeah, I lost to Joey. So in a match I thought I was favored in, so that kind of hurt. That kind of hurt a bit.
I mean, I don't know if favored is the term. I get it. Like your deck does absolutely draw a lot. I don't think it draws like yellow Gohan levels, but
No.
Like going first, I'd probably say it's close to even if you sided the Daburas. Going second, though, I think that's almost unwinnable for Red.
I mean, see that's why I was like sitting here feeling like freaking Jesus. Like game 1, I went second and won unsided. I was like, this is cool. So like, I thought that going first game 3, that was about to be it.
This is going to be a swift 2-0.
We're out here. But it was not meant to be.
So that's interesting. Did I miss anybody on thoughts on the GenCon results? Are we going to move into the heavy topics? Okay, really quickly, we're going to move into our next topic, which is going to be our draw heavy meta. And is it a player problem? Is it a deck problem? Or is it a game problem?
All right. Met a lot of people this weekend. Shook a lot of hands. Got my name on a top 8 list that had no business being there. I looked at every other name on that list, and they were all certified monsters, and I'm just sitting here like a lot on my application. But like, all I have to say is I don't think it's any coincidence. Like if you look at, I think I still have this picture. If you look at the top list, right, for day 1, if I'm not mistaken, it is me at 18 points. No, yeah, me at 18 points. And then phase 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. No, 4, 5, 6. So 2 through 6 are all 17 points. If I'm not mistaken, that's 5 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. That's right. Ties are 1 point each. Yeah, so I got 5 wins, 6 wins, 1 loss. They got 5 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties. You guys are going to try to tell me that Reitz, Hernandez, Rios, Sublet, Duvall got 2 ties organically. Like, I'm sure 1 tie at least happened organically, but I feel like there was some IDing up in here. I saw one of those ties happen through a game loss at table 1. I also saw Hernandez spend 45 seconds against Sublet in game 1 to decide to mull 0 cards.
So we don't defame anything except except Applebee's on this podcast, on this show. But
all right, I'm not going to say it's intentional. Not going to say it's not. But what I do have to say is thank you, because if anybody in the top 8 won instead of drawing, I would have gotten first place. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, the only a judge said it. A judge walked by me after the results were going off, and he was like, "It's amazing what happens when you don't tie." And he just walked off.
Now, strategy-wise, if you played competitive card games for any period of time, you'd know that in the in top tables, there's very frequently like a low-risk draw that kind of comes into effect. So if I'm playing against Nick and we're in table 2, okay, if we both draw, odds are we're still going to top 8, right?
Mhm.
Whereas if I win, I'll still top 8, but Nick probably won't. Likewise, if I push him and I lose, I won't top 8, he probably will. So there's a risk-reward thing where you say, I look at the points, I look at the spread, and it just makes more sense to draw in this circumstance, right? Or I play game 1 out, see how it feels, and then if I don't think I can comfortably close at the end of game 2, like if I don't think it's in my favor, or if we get to game 2 and I'm not winning or drawing or ending the tournament at that point, then yeah, drawing for the low risk becomes a serious consideration. That's not how I play the game. I play the game to win, but I don't have anything against people who do a strategic draw. Now the
He said
problem,
doo-doo.
strategic draws are doo-doo, but when people, I don't think strategic draws are. I get them. I don't do it, but like I said, I understand why, and I think it makes sense as a tactic. But I think the judges may have acted in this tournament specifically a little bit uncouth. Nick, do you want to give any feedback about what happened for people who might not be in the know about the? So normally we play until undefeated or X amount of rounds, and for that undefeated, a draw typically counts as a defeat.
Oh.
So in this tournament, there were draws all around.
And table 1 got a 10-minute time extension because I'm pretty sure the judges didn't want another draw.
Mm-hmm. So
And the player said bet.
I won't speak on that because that will be drama. I synced it, but I will not speak on it.
no, I understand there was more drama. There was a lot of dramatic things that happened at this tournament. We're not going to go into that here, but the point is, my understanding was it was something where the judges decided to add an extra round because of the amount of draws. Now, to me, I think that's inappropriate, and I think that's an abuse of power. Jay, what do you think?
I think it's fine. I don't see it as abuse of power. Just because.
Yeah, I hate this man.
It's because he's a Sin player.
This man right here. He's my enemy.
Okay.
See, on
It's
my screen,
because-
he's pointing to Armando.
Yeah, I know. That's
Yeah,
great.
very good.
Okay. What I was gonna say is, I think it's fine just because if people are setting up the ties and not actually tying, then there's malicious intent to top and not giving the proper people the opportunity to top. And that's why I believe that if the judges are seeing that, it's their right to extend it to give the right people the right chance.
Dog, you had 7 rounds to get to the top table, okay? You're not there. If I draw and you're out, that's your problem. Or
All right. Devil's advocate. Devil's advocate. You're a hopeful scrub tier content creator. You have taken your pet baby boy U7 Gohan through 6 rounds of tournament play. You've lost to a very good YouTuber, but then as the final gatekeeper, you have to face your mentor and roommate and good friend. You 2-0 him mercilessly because you really want that top with your boy. Heart heavy, brain tired, running off of 3 hours of sleep, you have already resigned yourself to your X1 status. You've taken a deep breath knowing that you've done it for the homies, for the channel, and for the Gohan fans everywhere. And then 2 motherfuckers are at table 1 still in game 2, and the judge openly says if they tie, there's another round. Dude, fuck that extra round. That had me tilted beyond all measure. I was so heated. I was like, well, at least I ended X1. I'll split some of my prizing with Nick. He deserves it. Hey, yo, bro, if these guys don't finish game 2, it's about to be another round. I was like, what? I was on a high alert.
So if you played 5 rounds and it's gonna end because of all these ties, that's not cool, right? But if you extend it to round 6, cool, no problem. But if they're going from round 6 or 7 to 8, that's not cool.
Now, day 2, didn't it end on round 5? Nick,
5 rounds.
Nick's wound up, so I'm going to let Nick go off here.
Honestly, I just think this is an excellent opportunity for Bandai to look at this shitstorm and say, maybe ties and Swiss isn't great. If you take away ties and Swiss, I do see how there's other issues that can come about where people can just slow play and hold their life title high so that they can kind of manipulate how the tiebreakers are used.
I don't like the tiebreaker thing of like life deck hands, whatever, or life hand deck. I hate that because some decks operate more efficiently at low life, and some decks operate more efficiently at fewer cards in deck. And I don't want to be punished like, and again, no shade to our wonderful Canadian Nationals tournament organizers that are currently in this chat. But the ranking by life total favored some decks, launch, over decks that needed to get to 4 life, Dark Broly, So even though I was winning with 4 life left, because I wasn't winning with 7 life left, my ranking was overall lower. And if I'd went into a tie, like if I'm in a tie and I'm playing against Launch and they have no cards in hand, and I have a book, but only 4 life, that's just dramatically unfair to me that I have to take an L.
Look, bro, you just gotta play better. You're going into time, you're playing red, you side in 3 Super Saiyan, 3 Nappas, you hit that turn 4, you go in. You go in. Super Saiyan 4 Nappa, turn my board sideways, pass. Survive next turn, Super Saiyan 3 Nappa, sorry, I said Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
Being a first, like, you just gotta start pushing. All the tools are here, Armando. If you're playing red.
Yeah. I'm just saying I
No,
don't really like it.
Something we saw and we were kind of like that's kind of annoying, but I don't know. We also tried a totally different format for that tournament. I think it's almost
No.
we're off topic at that point. But yeah,
No, it is.
That is why I brought up the point of I don't know if just doing straight up tiebreakers that Top Cut has and throwing that into Swiss is the answer. But again, that could be something to review how well that works.
If it is, Hatch is the best deck because I'll stay at 8 life all game long.
So here's the next one.
Not with these Nappas.
What if a tie is a double game loss?
Hell yeah.
No, like really, like
no,
that might not be too extreme, but it's like it's at the point where it's like this game is much more interactive in the combo. That's basically the only game with a combo step. So naturally, that's just going to get abused by decks, or people are going to abuse it with the fact that they're just slow and they're just going to milk time.
Homeboy, if ties become double game losses, you realize Anthony Hernandez never wins a single event in his life again. It's game. Like I literally just heard it. Like you were like ties double game loss. The moment Bandai makes that an effect in the background, you see that Super Smash Bros. Boom! Like
I've played against some of these top players a few times, and I'll tell you this much, and I was very new when I did. They go as fast as they want to.
Yeah.
You try and tell me, like, I can play Cell Surge, and then I've put over 900, close to 1,000 reps with that deck for games.
You'd never know it, but
yeah.
Damn, still in the shade.
Mr. goes 1 and 2 in locals with it, but
sure.
Damn.
Ooh.
But
the Sin Shenron smile.
Surge, man. I suck.
So at the end of the day with it, when you put in a lot of reps with decks, it doesn't need to reach 1,000. Most decks you can put in 100 reps, and you know your play lines. Like, it's not that hard. If you know those play lines and you understand how the clock works, and you're a smart individual who can manage your resources and time and be aware of them, which is most of the pro players in this game, there's no reason to go to time.
So I'm gonna Nick. I don't think you're a particularly fast player. You and I play together a lot. I don't think you're a fast player. I wouldn't say you're slow. You take the necessary time to make your decisions, and I think that's appropriate. There's a lot of decisions to make in the game. So and again, there's a clear difference between me spending a full 30 seconds before I make every action, and between me taking a minute when I need to think about my play.
Yeah, when it's reached a certain point in the game where it's like if a single mistake is made here, then you lose the game.
or even just when you hit like it's almost like chess where your 1 to 3 moves are very orchestrated, like they're very clear to you, right? But once you get into that 4 or 5 energy and you start thinking, do I press my luck or do I hold back for defense? That's like that. It becomes a different game, right? And it definitely requires more thought.
Branching lines of play.
I do think it's a format problem. Contrary to you guys, I don't think it's a deck problem. I don't think it's a player problem. I think it's a format problem. People said the game was too fast, so Bandai banned all the fast decks, right? We don't have any turn 2 kills. We don't have any turn 3 kills anymore. Defensive decks got a huge boost. So that leaves us with a format where playing a defensive deck is a good choice. And when 2 defensive decks face off, it's a grind fest. So I think it's more like you friggin' Unarata Majin Vegeta, Unarata King Vegeta. Tournaments will be like King Vegeta ain't drawing.
I mean, King Vegeta is definitely not drawing. No, it's not. It's kind of weird because it's like it's a format problem, but like, is that not also a player problem? Because there are viable mid-range, beady mid-range decks. It's just that people feel a lot safer behind Baby Hatch and like 8 negates than they do playing offense. And even then, like, that gives us kind of a space to kind of attack it because yes, defense can always just wall up and win. But like, I think like a top with a deck like Doo-Doo tier 2 U7 Gohan kind of shows that like if your offense is still there, you can punch through a lot. Like maybe not against Hatch, but like against Soul Striker at least. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like there's not really a way to. Well, I mean there is a way to balance it, but not like just in one ban list or one set. Like we have defensive cards that haven't really changed much in a while, but now that the offense is dead, they're like way more relevant. I don't know. It's just, I guess I feel like when you get to these caliber of players, like it was brought up before, they play as fast as they want to. And they also are no strangers to being at top tables. I think, I just don't, I see that sometimes ties can happen, but I just don't think that a record of 5 wins, 0 losses, and 2 ties is 100% accidental. Like, I think that entire tournament could have been different if people just actually earnestly played at some point or another. And there's some players that I've played enough around to feel like that was definitely not the case. Like Sublet is not giving anybody a tie for no fucking reason. Like, Sublet will beat you into the ground and then tell you how you lost afterward.
Even if you are playing Jackie Chun, right, Armando?
It's just
He's merciless.
He's merciless. He's merciless.
That would be the word to describe him.
It's just kind of weird. I think they definitely need to change up how the tournament structure works because right now it is very safe and actually rewarding to play a deck that stuns and stalls and wins through cheese towards the end of the game. You know, you Baby Hatch on a turn you should have died. You frickin' Zeno the field back. You turning the tide. You do all these things, and you win after a 48-minute game 1, knowing that there is no physical way your opponent can take you to a game 2 finish. Mm-hmm. And that's your match. And the way the format is, you are rewarded for going to that strategy. And I don't think that should be the way it is. People complain about aggro, but I'm like, are you like it? That's the part that boils me to a high degree. It's like, okay, do you want to get stalled until turning the tide or foo and then get killed and then have no chance of coming out with anything higher than a tie? Or would you just rather have to allot yourself with more negates than you wanted to play so you don't get blown out by Butt Blast King Vegeta? Because people are like, I'm dying on turn 2. I'm like, wow, sucks to suck not playing negates, don't it? Like,
yeah,
literally,
looks like you should have comboed out of the 10Ks.
I mean, for real, like, oh, I got killed by like turn 2. I'm like, you know what I did on turn 2? I left 1 energy open, and I played Protector of the People, and the deck literally stopped functioning. Like, what do you want from me? Like I don't understand.
Now, Lucas, can you illuminate me? Does it feel good to play a fast deck against a control deck and then get cheesed on turn 6 or 7?
I don't know what we're referring to here.
In general.
I don't know. Honestly, it's like just if you are playing something that you're intending to finish on, turn 3, and especially if you're going against a player who maybe is playing baby or something before it got eroded, and they somehow bring that to turn 6, and they take 30 minutes between thinking of each counterplay or negate. I've lost my mind at the 20-minute mark. Especially, this is me just referring to a Bardock match I had with Red Bardock because I only play shitty decks. But aside from King Cold, Tier 2, Tier 1, whatever, Armando was wrong, we get it. But I'm literally having a conniption thinking about this just because of how rough that was. Thinking that every other match I've had with this, no matter how many negates, I've either been dead by turn 2 or 3, or it's been done in 10 minutes. And it goes to a full 50-minute game and it ends up in a tie.
Yeah.
This is back on the tie thing. I'm just, fuck ties. You know what? Both players executed on the spot. That's how it works.
Executed on the spot?
Executed.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Bandai comes to your house, cyanide capsule somewhere in your house, you slip on it. I don't even know how you slip on it and it kills you, but it does. That's my only solution for ties, and yeah.
But that's also back to the thing, like, it would be amazing how much faster you would see
Oh.
players if a tie meant a double loss.
And like top, like high quality players as well too, like
Well,
I
I'm
was
talking
saying,
about bad players.
but I'm saying
Bad
even
players would speed the hell up, I tell you that much.
yes,
Well,
they would.
So what do you mean by double loss? That means your next round is an automatic loss?
No,
You
double
just got
loss.
0
Yeah,
points.
0-0. So it's
Both
the same
players
thing as
lose.
losing.
Both players
Okay.
get 0 points. No 1 point. You can't just no points. There's no incentive to time. Your score stays the exact same.
Outside of screwing over your opponent.
Yeah.
Kill your opponent with maximum
You're like, I
ferocity,
can't
or your
actually
score doesn't
beat
change.
him, so I'm gonna force a
That-
tie so
that-
we both lose. It's kamikaze, baby.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
literally
dude.
what it is.
But that happens all the time. You're playing, like, I play Control Sin. I know I'm gonna win turn 5, but then the guy's it takes 15 minutes on his turn 5 to figure out if he wants to charge or negate or combo. And every time he combos, he gets a minute to combo. It's insane.
I mean, like, step 1, call a judge. Step 2, because sometimes that don't be working, he got to walk to his car, to his hotel at some point.
It's
There's a lot
online
of
though.
room.
That's the
There's a
problem.
lot of room between the convention center and wherever he's going.
We're
in that
Canadian.
time-
We don't think like that.
And a lot of
I
hands to
do.
shake.
I'll show him some double strikes.
Google frappes, eh? Google
No, an
frappes.
entire bodyguard.
Wait. What's the word for strike?
Frappe.
Frappe.
Frappes, they punch you.
We need Carl
Google.
here. He can translate.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. Do live at it's like come with his own.
Frappe.
Like
Yeah,
okay.
Pow. But yeah,
Actually, while you guys are here, do you guys all speak French?
God no.
I speak very limited French. Like,
Like come with his own. Catch these hands.
At grade 3 level, I can ask to go to the bathroom. That's it.
I took it. I took French up until grade 12. So and I've been to France. I've enjoyed it. Not the people, but the.
And there goes another audience gone.
The viewership. Where is it going?
Well, it's already,
French are always
like,
the
so far.
scapegoat, so
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Hey, I like French Canadians. That's something. But
Thank you.
no.
Appreciate it.
I like French people too. There's nothing. I was joking. It's just that Paris is a dirty city. But in any event,
Yeah, I don't mind French people.
Capital.
Fuck your city.
He said,
In any-
"Fuck your capital. Buy another one, you dirty mother."
so going into arguably the most controversial topic, we're going to talk about the Nats announcement, IRL Nats. So number 1, location, Pasadena, like nowhere near Central North America, nowhere near Canada. It's inconvenient for everybody but Bandai's hand-picked people, who I'm not going to say are a specific YouTube channel with 10,000 subscribers, but I will note that it's suspicious.
Actually, wait, I was about to really go off base. Tony probably has his invite. I was gonna be like, do any of them even? Nah, you're right though.
Exactly. That was suspicious to me that it's like in California. Now the counter argument is, I guess California has like the strictest COVID requirement, so it could actually be a proactive safety thing Bandai's doing, but I doubt it. Candidly.
You said, but I doubt it.
Candidly. So the next thing we're gonna in hitting this Nats, it's interesting because this is like the first year there's no last chance qualifiers or LCQs. And no side events at Nats.
Oh yeah.
So, Nick, what are your thoughts? Is that a fuck you to the player base, or is that them trying to legitimately keep costs down, or is it them trying to be safe?
So as someone who has exclusively only been a webcam whore, because I didn't start playing my first locals until the last live regional happened before COVID.
Can't cheat live regionals, right?
I have no fucking clue about anything with live regionals. I don't even know what to expect with any of this. I hope after the terrible negotiating I've done with my wife, I'll have a good time.
Lucas, what are your thoughts?
I think no side events though. Just from my background with poker from way back, that's nothing relevant anymore. Yeah, if you're just having basically a main event and nothing else, that's terrible.
Lucas, what are your thoughts on the no last chance qualifiers? So if you don't have your invite, you have no hopes of attending that.
Put it this way. How many fucking chances did you have with all of these regionals? You know how hard it was to book fight nights with this shit? There was like 2 every weekend. So what the hell's going on? If you don't have it now, like, you didn't want to go. Like, that's basically it. Like, you had
get good.
you had like what? Honestly, in June, July, and August, there was probably what, 10 regionals, 12, 14, 65. I honestly don't know. There were so many to get, and what'd you get? Was it top? Was it top 16, top 32, top 25%? I don't even know what the hell.
It was top 16, and I agree with you. There's probably been a regional every weekend or every other weekend for the last 3 months, and that's not including the large store in-person regional.
And that's not including the 2020 ones, because this is still 2020 Nats.
Yeah, it rolls over. True.
So you had an ample amount of time to get it. If you didn't want to get it, there you go. That's
man.
This is what happens when you're talking about millennials. We want options.
Fuck
we
options.
might not use them. We're just really upset if we don't get our options.
So, whose turn is it next?
You jump in.
Go for it.
Open floor.
Oh, you got something juicy.
Yeah. So, like I said, coming from a long time of playing Yu-Gi-Oh, we've always had last-minute qualifiers. We always had just side events. And then I did the first nationals for Dragon Ball. Didn't go to the second because I wasn't playing. However, when you have side events and last-minute qualifiers, you get the people that qualified, which is already close to the event cap, and then you get every single teammate looking to get an invite at the last moment, looking to win side events while the main event is going. And in a pandemic where they're already being very careful about how many people are being in there, where they already were considering whether they're even going to have an in-person event, they want this to be the smallest event they can possibly have it be, which is why there are no side events and there are no LCQs. They want the people who qualified to be there, and that is it. They don't want you bringing your posse trying to get into the last-minute qualifiers. They don't want you bringing your posse trying to win giant cards and other stuff. They just want the actual participants just so they can say, hey, we did an in-person Nats. You can't fuck us for this. We did an in-person Nats. But this is what we're doing. I think it's a very calculated move to keep the cap down, keep the event small, while still being able to appease people with an in-person nationals.
And I've heard, for people not in the know, so our nationals are in California. They're November, I think it's 20th and 21st. And this is my first understanding is that they're doing 2 formats, basically a standard format and a rotational format, with the rotational format being Unison Warrior block only.
Basically fucking Sin Shenron tier 0.
Yeah, exactly. Sin Shenron, Gogeta Zeno, and King Cole. They're the only playable decks.
Blue will be decked. No.
I will be playing U7. Please, quiet yourself.
But yeah, I'm not a fan of the 2 format split. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think now's the time. I think they've tried to introduce this time and time again with like the store championship format, and nobody ever likes it. Most stores don't even do it. So I think the dual format is a big miss. I think
Does that have to go?
can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that's evolution booster card.
Can't do draft box shit either.
So look, we got a Lego Champa. We got Lego Test Me Up. We replaced Kaba with this new Goten that's coming out who does the same thing. Or was it Trunks?
I think it's Trunks. It's Trunks.
We gotta drop this guy. We get to use Violent Rays. We gotta drop this guy.
No, that's Unison.
he's-
Unison.
He's good. He's good.
Oh wait, he is good. Hey!
I was gonna say, how the hell did that card work without a Unison?
Yeah,
You're right. Hard cast, 3 energy. We
There
gotta
we
let
go.
this guy go. I mean, I get to keep Raditz. We keep fighting against fate, yeah.
Put it this
know,
way.
man.
I don't know why they keep trying to do that with like store
be it, Chief.
championships and stuff when they literally keep reprinting set 1 cards. Like Sensu Bean Champa, they just got reprinted. Champa just got reprinted. Anniversary box, and then the Sensu Bean's getting reprinted as well. It's just
Blue is gonna be so dead.
Yeah, without
No D magic, no bean.
no Zamasu. Without the
You
blue
guys
yellow
are hating.
Zamasu, without blue yellow Zamasu, blue and yellow just die.
Look, you guys are hating right here, but all I'm hearing is that Gohan about to win Unison Warrior next. That's all I can hear right now. I could still drop double Divine Presence and fighting against fate in the same turn, and you still will be swung on 9 times. I will be. You know what? I don't know what to say, guys.
he's doing it. See him at those tables, the Unison Warrior
Crazy
tables.
Shinron, don't touch Divine Presence, bruh.
Chris is about to start working on this Unison Warrior format deck. So I realized halfway through our Chris's discussion, actually, on the issue with Last Chance qualifiers, we're now at approximately an hour into our episode,
Typical.
and I've 100% completely forgot to introduce Chris Spencer, our special guest today. It just occurred to me that we never spoke to him. Like, we just jumped in and started chatting as if like he was just a regular. So
As soon as he talked about eating babies, I'm like, we got to get into this. That
yeah,
was why we had to
exactly.
get.
I just want to go back to his Divine Presence comment. Why doesn't Sin Shenron touch it?
Because
can't
you
be
can't
killed.
remove it from my side of the field during my turn. So both
That's
of my
cool.
30
I don't need to do that. I'll just negate his skills for the turn and then deal with it.
With what? With what?
But
Nine
what
drop.
else? Turn 2. Let's go.
I
They're
didn't
gonna be
hear
throwing. They're gonna be throwing
Yeah, okay,
I
hands.
pretended not to hear that. Hopefully, some other deck will attack you, and I won't have to worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm good
um,
with that. I had a U9 or U7 Gohan in the last regionals, and I didn't have my 9 drop. I didn't have my 1 drop, and I still
Oh.
somehow won. So
Hey, all I know was he wasn't me. Can I introduce myself real quick?
Yeah, so that's we're gonna get into that. So a really warm welcome to our special guest Chris Spencer, the champ. He got first place
people's
on the
champ,
regional.
the
Yeah,
people's champ.
on the GenCon regional. Really proud of him. One of my favorite content creators. I've known Chris for since November of last year. He first featured me on his YouTube channel. We started talking after that. We're friends. It's fun. It's good.
He said that. He said all that.
Yeah.
You definitely. You might have
You're
introduced me.
pointing at
'Cause I think you
Lucas.
said all that.
I don't think
Oh,
that was
funny.
part of the show. You know what? If it was part of the
that
show,
wasn't though?
people can fucking hear it twice. Okay.
Oh, yo, dude, my name's Chris Spencer. I make content for Uni-X, DBS. I am the back snapper, the booty clapper. I be chilling with these Gohan cards, and I be having a good time with the homies, with the deck, with my cats. I tried to pick up my cat, but she kind of fast, and I think she sensed the killing intent, so she dipped. But it's been a pleasure to be on the show.
Perfect.
Pleasure to have you.
So
Thanks
We
for
had-
being here. It was so fun.
it was a lot of fun. So when we end our show, Chris, we usually do usually we either quote a Dragon Ball character in their own voice, or we do a Ginyu Force pose. So if you want to do one or both of those things, it would be greatly appreciated.
I have 2 quotes that come to mind.
Do it.
And one of them is well, I can't actually do one of them because it was in Japanese. They would have never let that shit get to English.
Is it Gohan and Boo?
They're both Gohan and Boo, but yeah, you already know the one.
I know one. I know one.
I can't believe.
I'm waiting until it's
Wait,
printed on
okay.
a card, like
There's
those
two of
those signed cards where they had "I can win," but with that quote.
Armando, I have to talk to you about that after this, but that would be amazing to put on a card. Just have them with that same stare. One of them does come from that fight because, like, straight up, it's one of my favorite quotes of all time. In fact, I tweeted this win and the scorecard on Twitter today, and Kyle Rivera, the voice actor for Adult Gohan, liked it and retweeted it. So, PP hard.
Yeah.
But really, when he squared up against Boo, and Boo was like, "You want to fight Majin Buu?" And he was just like, "Fight you? No, I want to kill you." I was like, as like a 14-year-old, died.
The only time Gohan was ever cool in the history of
After
Dragon
all
Ball.
his failing to dodge, like that one time he nailed
Bro,
it.
like
Did you forget the
know
Cell
plot.
Saga?
You know the plot wanted. That was a psychotic meltdown. That kid, I feel it slipping, and then you literally see the little street go across, and he just spazzed. That was 12 years of psychological torture.
Oh, of course.
Cell sucks, but the only thing good about the Cell Saga is when Goku throws in the Senzu Bean as the ultimate fucking.
And now it's the card.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah,
card.
he's like, "This is for Chi Chi."
exactly.
And then I don't know
Yo,
another quote though.
yo,
Super
Cell.
Dragon Ball Super.
Give my son the hands.
This man goes, "Eat lead, murderer!" And Trunks jumps out. "Stop! Do not shoot! That man is not black!" And I went, "Golly! How did they do this? How did they do this?"
Funny thing about that is that the first Anime North I went to, Eric Vale, the voice for Trunks, was there, and Time Patrol Trunks was a busted card at the time, and someone got him to sign that on their Time Patrol Trunks. This man isn't black. And I just remember he was showing around the whole convention. He's just like, "I got Eric to do it." I was like, Jesus.
Bro.
That's amazing.
So, full disclosure, we don't usually do the quotes at the end. That was just something I wanted to see if I could get you to do, and I'm glad it happened.
Oh, okay.
It was stimulating. But
Bro.
yeah, the Ginyu Force pose is something we occasionally do. We're not going to do it today, but that's it for our episode. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming on. I hope everyone had fun. We had fun. I had fun. I don't fucking care about these guys, but
I don't have fun.
Yeah,
I like.
I had lots of fun.
yeah, Jedi, you're our hostage. This is established every week.
Yeah.
that you're here against our will. We all do miss Carl. Carl couldn't make it today. We know that we don't perform to our full potential without his sultry.
Carl's substitute right here.
Yeah, children's toy.
What's up, Carl?
Yeah. So big shout out to Carl. We don't have a dedication for this episode, unfortunately. So any shout outs, dedications you want to give, Nick? Or yeah, fuck.
Nick
I keep-
again, like,
This is the thing, because I'm in the Uni-X DBS Discord, and I keep expecting Chris to shout out Nick and Amani, and he doesn't. And
I'm
it's
about to. I'm literally about to. It's just I just have to get to it first. You were like,
So-
shout outs. I was ready.
okay. So any
Just
shout outs?
planting seeds.
Yeah, exactly. I
Any
keep,
shout outs?
I'm thinking ahead of the game. We're gonna cut.
Ready,
that.
ready.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
got that?
sure.
Any shout outs? All right. Well, we got lots of shout outs. All right, cool. Ready for it. First and foremost, for anything else, shout outs to you guys for putting me on your show. That shit is dope. Hella dope. Second on the list, shout out to Bandai actually putting a usable effect on a Gohan leader that's above the age of 12. It's been a long time coming, and I applaud you. And then follow up on that shout out. Thank you for letting me spoil it, because that was a dream come true. Never in my life, in my like high school, middle school, elementary school years, did I think that I would be a big enough weeb for a corporation to contact me and ask me to spoil my favorite character to the world. I was like, yes, like people are like, "Oh, you wish you got to spoil a secret rare, don't you?" I was like, "Oh, like that was a dream come true." Third shout out, Amani and Nick. It is Amani and Nick. Amani and I worked on this deck extensively, And then there was a point where Amani was like, this deck is garbage, and he stopped building it. And I was just like, it's Gohan, and it's playable, so can't stop, won't stop. And I kept going with it. But then Nick taught me how to play red. And with both of them helping me, there was it was a really good journey. I mean, every time we play tested, Nick told me I was playing the inferior leader, and I had to work through that. And we saw how that turned out in round 6. No, I'm kidding. No, I love Nick. I love Nick.
Then he clapped.
I love Nick.
Murdered.
He could come downstairs right now and probably run my fade. Like I'd probably get bodied. It's pretty even, but it really just depends. But the point is, shout outs to a lot of people. I also love the support in the community as well. I've been preaching Gohan, and for a second, I kind of got afraid that if I jumped off of Dark Broly, I would lose momentum. Because I've been like a Dark Broly OG for a while, but no, people welcomed the Gohan love, and they didn't care when I just like kind of gave the salute. It's like, goodbye, uncontrollable Berserker. Hello, violent rays, and nobody seemed to like care. Like, it just was a nice, smooth transition. Feels good. So, just thank you to everybody, really. It was a magical weekend. I don't think I could have ever been happier than to spoil a leader, stand the leader, and then make its first, and I'm not going to lie, this tier 2 deck, probably only first place finish this deck will ever receive in this game's history. Because if you can do it, like, I applaud you. I couldn't do it again. Hell, if people weren't tying their asses off, I wouldn't have done it. So, look, it feels good. I can now put the deck on the shelf. I can never play it again if I choose to. And if somebody's like, this deck didn't perform for me, I'd be like, you know what? It's probably because you didn't pilot it right.
Right, exactly.
1,000 likes and I'll bring it out of the vault. Oh, only 200? Nah, can't do it, bro.
Yeah, you have the ultimate "well, you never played me" card in your back pocket now, so that's my favorite card to throw around too. So I 100% endorse that. I know we talked about the deck extensively. I'm building it myself as a pet deck. It's a ton of fun. Launch was too hard for me. There's too many interactions, and Gohan's just right. Like he's like that middle porridge. But yeah, I'm really proud that you did really well, man. I'm glad that you got to take it from inception to like conclusion and do something with the deck that you love. It's a really inspiring story for anybody who works on their pet decks too. So keep it up. Maybe the top 4 tables will draw into giving you first. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, to be completely fair, I will say from a competitive standpoint, since Bandai already announced that they're doing a ban list between set 14 and 15, there's no way Icarus doesn't eat up top slots at Richmond, at whatever event happens between now and then. And if that's the case, Bandai is actually a lot more attentive than people seem to understand. They just don't want to pay attention. Bandai has attacked things when they needed to be attacked. Even though we bitched about it for a month, you have to understand how many tournaments actually happened in the span of what we were bitching about versus when they actually addressed it. Probably 0, maybe 1. When we ask for reprints, people say they don't come fast enough, but you have to understand, like, if you want to get technical with it, look at the website, how the product released set 15 and 16 months ago on the product page. A long time ago, you saw that father or that family Kamehameha on the box art, and it was just like, is this filler? Is this a placeholder? 2-3 months later, they just showed that Goten is the leader. There's a Goku card, and there's a Gohan card, which means at least 4 months ago almost, they had already had the themes for set 15 set in stone, which means 4 months ago, they also had the freaking theme for set 16, because there's a UI Goku on the damn box art.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are talking about, well, not you guys, but people are talking about, oh, the reprints don't come fast enough. Their production schedule is about 5 months ahead of where we currently are. And the fact that we're seeing that Mythic booster has Super Saiyan 3 Thwarting the Dark Empire means that pretty much as soon as we started bitching about it, they put it in production for reprint.
And they out there just ripping open the packs, sliding it in, taping it up.
So
quick F in the chat for the people who bought Goku and Vegeta switching, or the Vegeta switching gears and the Raditz. And then between you ordering it online and it being shipped to your home, that
like shout outs to Armando basically, and
big F in the chat. And
they might readjust it.
I was like, man, I'm going to sell my Gogeta Thwartings after GenCon. This card's worth way too much money. It's going to get reprinted or banned. I'm just going to wait till after GenCon just in case I can somehow still play in it. And then day one of GenCon, reprint. My shit's valueless. That was awesome.
I can't really say much, but like I hear the whispers in the Twitter sphere. Like my homie was like, I'm taking Dark Broly to Gen Con. I was like, you might want to choose a different deck. He was like, why you say that, Spencer? I was like, because I said it. He's like, yeah, whatever, Spencer. Okay, I can't play Dark Broly, guys. I'm panicking. I was like, ain't nobody trying to listen to me. But like, freaking, all I'm saying is people are complaining, and I don't think they understand that almost anytime we cause a fuss, Bandai is listening. They have people in the Facebook group. They have people on Reddit. They watch content creators. So they're actually pretty hip. It's just a matter of time. And so the fact that they made the last ban list that nobody liked, and then said that we're making another one between set 14 and 15, and then hit an E-ban because our format was getting toxic. And they made sure this E-ban happened before our first major in real life event.
Because people had to bitch, man.
All I'm saying is they are attentive, and if Icarus cannibalizes another top 8, like another 4 or 5 slots, I guarantee you Icarus will not be the same deck it is right now by the time Nats comes. And if Icarus ain't ruining the format, you already know what may be coming into the Nats, baby. if I can top a Nats like Gohan, then I'm throwing the deck away. I will literally Titanic this shit into the ocean. Ain't nobody ever taken my deck list. They'd be like, "What'd you run?" I'd be like, "Sheesh."
I'll weevil under when you're decking into the ocean before that happens, man.
No, do your best Weevil Underwood impression.
UI Goku dodges water molecules.
I haven't seen that show since I was a child. I don't even remember what he sounds like.
Oh, Weevil had pro strats. He's like, I can't think of how to defeat your Exodia until now, and he just fucking threw the shit into the. I was like, wow, the ball.
Shit.
Yo, imagine someone grabs your Kai SCR and fucking tosses it over the boat. Like, you picked that man up.
Dude, I mean, Joey, you saw Joey, right? Like, Joey was about to throw hands with Weevil, and Yugi was like, stop, please! And then Joey jumped off the boat to get the cards. But if you really think about it, everybody was kind of wild in season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, Bandit Keith trapped 5 children in a cave.
Bandit Keith, who was a cheater.
All right, stop. You can't. Bandit Keith was secretly European. No, I'm not.
Canadian, if you watch the abridged.
It's true.
Some kind of like violent duress-inducing cheater. Right, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's an American card player. Fits.
Homie. Bandit Keith has the most tragic TCG backstory ever. Homeboy was at the top of his game, had sponsorships, probably a mad monetized YouTube channel. He got to the top of his game. He won American Nationals, and the grand prize was facing the leader of the game. And the leader of the game could have played it close and then beat him at the end. The leader of the game could have done a million things. No, Pegasus's just grimy, smug ass read his mind, wrote down his entire game plan, gave it to a fucking 6-year-old, and had that 6-year-old body Bandit Keith on national television. Bandit Keith lost his following, his sponsors. Bandit Keith was out for blood. Like, that dude lost to Joey and said, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to stab this motherfucker, and took out a knife and jumped 8 feet in the air. He had ups, bro. Like, he jumped from the Duelist, like, podium up to, like, Pegasus. Bandit Keith had rage.
I have no idea about this backstory.
If only Yu-Gi-Oh was best of 3 instead of best of 1, and if only Bandit Keith knew how to draw.
Hey man, when you know how to stack your deck, like anything's possible.
Well, I mean, I was just saying, you don't know about Pegasus Millennium Eye, right? Like, just the thing that allows him to, like, he read Bandit Keith's mind, all of his deck lists, and he goes, okay, that's his hand, that's his deck. Cool. And he wrote like a 9-step like way of how to beat him. And so he just got it from the table, gave the list to a 6-year-old, and told the 6-year-old to play. And Bandit Keith is like, I use Time Machine to like bring my shit back. And the kid's like, this piece of paper said you do that. And now I play Trap Jammer and swing with Garnetia Elephantis. That's game, right? And then like the crowd was like, oh! And Bandit Keith was like, and then they explained it how, like, after that, he became a laughingstock. Like, he went from #1 American player to, like, laughingstock. And I was like, why did Pegasus even do that? Like, there is literally no reason for him to ruin this man's life like that. He was just like, yeah, I'm not playing this game. Like, I know I said I'd do it, but I'm not playing this game. And not only am I going to, like, just leave, I'm going to humiliate this man. Like, I'm going to ruin this man's career. So Bandit Keith was about it.
So, in conclusion, thank you for the shoutouts. I'll put the Uni-X DBS Discord link in the video description. If anyone wants to join, you can chat with some great players. Chat with Chris. He's always active in there. He posts his little content updates.
You can't be lying to people like that.
Somewhat active. You pop in every
You
now
talk
and then.
to anybody else in that Discord more than you talk to me. I'd be responding to messages that came 2 weeks ago.
The best was there's a fun Discord story. Okay, this guy had asked something about black decks, and then Chris responded like 2 weeks later, randomly, like just completely randomly to this guy's question. And the guy had not only not gotten an answer in 2 weeks, he had left the Discord by the time Chris answers him. And then Chris just goes, "This is on me."
I was so busy. Call me Adele. I was rolling the deep. I was emotionally distraught. I was busy at work. I was moving. And like I just did not have time. And I came back and I was like, let me respond to everything. I was like, I can't tag this guy. And I was like, oh, this guy's gone. Oh, that's on me. Oh no.
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah, but don't believe Armando. I am active on Discord when I can be. I almost cried at that one. I am trying to be more active on Discord. It's a disclaimer. Sometimes you'll talk to me, sometimes you won't, but eventually you will talk to me. Just be patient. I got you. Woo!
All right.
Shout out to Skittles. You will be missed in the Discord.
He'll find this in 2 weeks.
No,
We have a certain attraction of bringing people to us.
yeah, specifically negative people that love to start YouTube fights.
What? That happens through Discord?
Who don't read? No, it happens in our YouTube videos. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just people fucking. It's Pac-Man. Shout out to Pac-Man. If we're not recording, that's fine. It's a personal shout out to Pac-Man.
Yeah, that's Pac-Man was in my stream earlier, and he's just like, "Oh my god, team talk right now," because it was like 4 of us in there, because J-Bot wanted to have a match, and he's just like, "Wait, where's Carl going? He's not gonna be in the episode." I'm like, "No, he's not gonna be," and he's just like, "Oh," he's like, I was upset he wasn't in my episode, the dedicated to him, episode 11 there.
Yeah, he's the only positive commentator on any of our videos. So
damn.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Read the videos and you'll see a lot of people, a lot of haha reacts and such, but it's fine. Good. It's good.
Do you guys hang out after the recording, or is everybody bouncing?
Sometimes we stay in chat. I'm gonna bounce because it's fucking late. I'm tired. I gotta work.
Way too late. I had to leave.
Oh god, it's 12. Oh my god, I hate YouTubing sometimes.
Yeah.
I need to meet up with Evan Glow to record a U7 video. I promised him. This is
like right now, because that sucks if that's the case.
You have to do some like power poses to get your energy up there.
I gotta chase the content.
Yeah, exactly. Drink some more of that tea, and you'll get right back on the horse, man. That's...
Opium tea.
He called it. It was vodka.
Some Power of Gray Skull shit going on, but yeah. So yeah, that's our show. Thanks for coming on, Chris. Hope you had fun. We had fun. We do special we try to do special guests. The goal is to do one a month, so it's somewhat of an honor.
It was a massive honor. I had a lot of fun. There was laughter. There was serious talk. There were tears when you reminded me that I definitely chased a dude out of our Discord by not responding to him. But you know what? Fuck everybody. Somebody else could have responded to him. There's a bunch of people that play black decks. I blame you, Armando. You play a lot of black decks. You play black decks more than I do.
Do you not give him like server points if he answers a question?
Yeah, no, there's no incentive.
What the
Armando's a fiend for server points.
What the fuck are server points?
Hermit style is just they're the ones that have that.
If we're talking about fucking haha reacts, almost everything I do in the Uni-X Discord is met with negative reacts.
It's not everything you do with negative reacts. It's everything you say by a mommy. That's literally it. Like everybody stands you except Amani. Amani
love
just says you don't do anything right because he's a troll. You don't understand how much of a troll is. You need to travel with him and you see how much of a troll is. Amani be having you shaking your head at dinner, in the hotel room. When we go to basic things, you'd be like, "Oh, are you guys ready to take your drink orders?" Amani, have you ever known you have the most beautiful eyebrows? We're like, we just trying to get food and shit. It turns into a 30-minute ordeal. I've never had this fudge brownie. Like, shut the fuck up. I've never been to a Texas steakhouse before, a Texas Roadhouse. What's here? We'd be like, Amani, we were literally here. Last event. Stop it. Stop it. Like, yeah, nah. Like, that man lives to troll. So he's just trolling you every time you speak.
Oh no, I take a lot of good humor in it, man. I love it.
Your shit's funny. When you guys go at it, that shit is funny.
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
the goal.
say, I'm like Armando not getting being trolled is
No,
is
I get.
mind-blowing to me.
I go at.
I'm
Dank
glad
all the-
someone
like,
watches
constantly. Yeah.
You literally
I
just
know.
like, see Armando.
I just send memes of like how broken my heart is every day to Armando.
Armando will
Basically
put
what
up
happens.
just good information, and then like Amani would just like fucking just dispute it for no reason, and they'll go back and forth for like 8 minutes, and then Armando would like put like game on the table, and then just like Amani's like, everything you just said is wrong, and then they just go back and forth again until you just hit this random break. I'd agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, and I just turn off my Discord, I stop looking, and then I miss.
He just knows he's a lawyer and that he has to be right.
Yeah.
So he'll just go for the bait every time.
It's all circular. I spend so much time ignoring the hate and hostilities. I miss the beautiful, pure souls like Green Skittles. Green Skittles who just wanted to increase the playability of his black deck. And it's all your fault, Armando.
So this is now Skittles episode.
No, I'm not dedicating anything to Skittles. He left that Discord.
Sad puppy song.
He said, I ain't dedicating shit to the
He lost that change. He lost that change when he couldn't wait 2 weeks for Chris to tell him
Stop! That hurts every time you say it.
that Vegeta.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna sign off. Have a good night.
Good night, man.